Network automation has indeed been around for many, many years, but really when you think about its focus, it's really been focused on device bring up and initial provisioning of devices. Unfortunately, and the reality is that covers about the first 6 months of that device's lifetime. These devices are sitting in our infrastructure for 5, 6, 7 or more years, and the ongoing maintenance of that device typically hasn't had a good automation story. So I think the big shift in EDA is starting to design around the operations teams and some of the tasks they have to complete day to day that are the ones that are error prone. At the end of the day, deploying a new service through some OSS system is almost a solved problem at this point in time. It's when I do an upgrade, it's when I make a routing policy change, and it's where a human is the one driving these changes after the thing has been operating for many, many years that things start to become more fragile. So an operations first approach to automation is a big shift. If we look at other tools in the industry today, there's almost this massive divide you see between the configuration side of the world and the set of tools that are there and the state side of the world, the operations side of the world and the tools available there. What we've seen is automation has really focused on configuration, and I think that is kind of fundamentally flawed. And when we look at EDA, we really wanted to try and solve for the state side. So part of this is moving towards these declarative abstractions. So I shouldn't have to explain to the controller how to deploy an EVPN service. I should just tell it, I want you to connect this point to this point. The complexity of how it does that is up to the controller. At the end of the day, it's the one with all the smarts. That's kind of how things have worked for a little while. But what happens when I now need to debug that service? Well, I'm now dealing with device primitives once again. The shift here in EDA is starting to bring some of the state, what is the health of the things that I've deployed, and bubbling it up into these abstractions. At the end of the day, I want to know that my fabric is healthy. And if that means that all my BGP pairs are up, if it means all my routes are exchanged, if it means all my access ports are connected, that's great. That's 100% health for me. But I don't really want to have to go and count all the BGP pairs every time and get an alarm for every BGP pair every time. I really want a platform that can aggregate this information so an operations team can figure out what's wrong and fix it quickly.